Alrighty, what's up? What's up? Welcome back. Jonathan here with Boston Collectors, and today we'll be talking about the Battalion Trooper, the 501st Battalion Trooper, the deluxe version. Now, recently I've been unboxing the figure, outside of the brown shipper, but I wanted to point something out to you all. So I purchased two of these, and I wondered why they weren't shipped together in a different box. So I learned that you have to have two of these in the same order in order for them to ship it in a box together. So, for example, if we rewind back to my Death Troopers, I wondered why they boxed them together and not these, and that's exactly why. The Death Troopers were one order, so they encapsulated both in a whole nother box, whereas the both of these, which I still find a little interesting, they chose to box them separately and ship them separately. Now, while I got them all the same day, it still just looked kind of weird to me. So this is what we have here. So let's go ahead and get this out of the box. Alrighty, so here we go. We have the box here that we're all familiar with. This one got a little bit more dinged up in the process, as you can see there. Definitely a lot more than my previous box. The other one looked a lot better. But diving into the box here, let's go ahead and punch in a little bit. There we go. Hopefully it doesn't feel so claustrophobic to you all. So the box, we have the Clone Wars wrap here. It doesn't go all the way around the box. For those of you that don't know, we have the deluxe version sticker there with the interchangeable helmets, which heck yeah, that's the reason why I went ahead and grabbed the deluxe. And we also have the deluxe figure there on the front, rocking that Ahsoka variant to the helmet. Then we also have that same clone trooper here on the side, holding up that the sniper rifle, if you will. And on the side there, it's just pretty much completing, the last bit of the wrap with the Battalion clone trooper. TMS 023 there on the side. And then we're all familiar with the gunmetal color there with the black and the engraved logo there for Star Wars. And then on the back, we have our barcode and, all of that cool stuff. One day I would love to be able to go to Hot Toys Secret Base and be able to purchase. Like, I would love to see what that's like. I mean, I know it's probably pretty much like, the same thing that we have here, but, the experience. That's what I'm here for. So let's go ahead and let's get into the art card. But first, what I would like to do is sort of zoom out a little bit. That way we don't have to fight. There we go. There we go. So again, just to point out that the card doesn't go all the way around. Then we have that awesome card art. I'm shocked that they didn't put more than one, just to sort of make you feel like you have to get more than one. But I do like the effects of it. We have the dust particles there, the gradient layer that I always point out. And again, the box ended up getting dinged in shipping, so it doesn't make it look all that pretty, but it is pretty. Alrighty, and here we have the figure. Let's go ahead and, sort of let it out of this this clamshell, if you will. Alrighty, so here we have the clone trooper. This was on top though. I didn't want to leave it and go through cutting it and all of that good stuff. But this is the accessory tray. We have the backpack. We have the detonator, the sticky wall detonator. We have some hands and the Gatling gun. We'll get into all of these super soon. For now, it's about the figure, right? So the figure itself is already incredible. I don't usually go into taking off all of the plastic and stuff, even though for this one, I went ahead and I opened up the second one. I was not about to do an unboxing for two. So I usually don't like to do that, although I know that it's probably best to do it, but it's the feeling of, watching somebody unbox it for the first time, and that's what I like. So right away, the figure feels great, feels sturdy. We have some ab crunch there, which feels nice. And we also have the ratcheted leg joints there, side to side, front to back. I'm glad we don't really have ratchets there in the arm, but That's pretty much the trooper. There's the helmet. Check that out. I love all of the scuffs and dings in them. I didn't put gloves on for this one because I like the fact that it's not shiny. It's like very dull looking. I may put gloves on a little bit later. We'll see. Look at that. Really nice. Really, really nice. So let's go ahead and there we go. Let's go ahead and get everything out of the box and move on into the next section of the video. Alrighty, we're going to start with the boring stuff first. So we have the instruction manual, and we also have some pegs. The one thing that I am a little disappointed in them not giving is these little metallic buttons here. So on my other 501st, as I was posing that figure, 2 of these buttons came off, and I did not realize it until I went to put the thermal detonator in, and they were missing. So usually what they do is they'll provide these little buttons, and this time they didn't. So I'm a little shocked about that, but oh well. Speaking of the backpack, we're going to go ahead and go over it. So we have a magnet there on the inside, as you can see there. And then we have a metallic, we have a magnet there underneath the metallic button. It's also got a Velcro on it on the sides, but again, be very careful, and you want to be hyper aware of these buttons. You may not even realize it, and it's probably missing on your clone trooper now if you have one. So the cool thing about it is that it open up, and you can put little things in there. Maybe you can store your rifle, your thermal detonators. It's totally up to you. These can also adjust if you so choose, which is really cool. This is rubberized with some, it's not necessarily cotton, but it's very soft, so it's not going to scar up your figure. Really nice. Alrighty, and we have the jetpack here for the 501st. First, let's go over the fire effects here. We've seen these before several times. If you have the heavy infantry Mandalorian, you know what these are. I want to say they're probably even with Boba. I don't own Boba, but I've seen these countless times. Second, these aren't movable as much as you want to try or as much as you think they are. They're actually not. We have this felt side here, so it's not scarring up the figure. And the other parts here aren't removable. However, this part is. So it slides right out. If you'd like, you can go ahead and put the flame effect inside of there like so, then sort of do one of these kind of things if you so choose. It's totally up to your imagination. Me personally, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna keep the torpedo like so. Alrighty, and we also have the base here. I unfortunately did not get the misspelled one. I really wanted it, strictly because they strive for perfection so much that I wanted one that was imperfect, but I don't, so rip me. Anyway, you have this sort of texture going on here on the base, which is pretty nice, but this is standard to what we've seen before. So with this, we have a bendable stand. So if you want to put them in some wonky, crazy looking pose, you absolutely can. It's very bendy. Doesn't matter what you put it in, it will bend to it. Now with that, you also get this really cool lobster clamp, if you will, which you have this felt around the sides there. You also have one here for the butt. However, it can be a bit difficult for some people. You have to unscrew this in order to slide this inside. Of course, you want to take this cap off, slide this in. Once you have it at a decent area that you like, then what you want to do is you want to tighten that with a screw. Next up, we have the rotary Gatling gun here. It's a movable part. There you go. Look at that. Really nice. It's got a little bit of resistance to it, but so don't think that it's just going to go. It's not the case. Outside of that, I love the look of it. It looks like we have a little bit of bluing there. A little bit. You can tell that it's been used. Maybe not often, but used. Then again, if we rotate it, I like the fact that I wish there were deeper holes in those though, similar to what we see down there in the center. And another thing, I really wish that they would have given us hands to sort of hold it, and they didn't. So that's unfortunate, but apart from that, this thing it's pretty nice. It's got some good weight to it. Looks good. And we also have this really cool, I'm going to call it a rocket launcher. You know, you all can correct me in the comments if you want. Again, another thing here, looking at the inside, I really wish that this went deeper than that. I don't like when things are engineered to look as if it's a hard stop, and that's a very hard stop. But other than that, it's a really cool looking weapon. Got this metallic like finish on it. You can tell that it has a bit of weathering, but it's nothing too crazy. Similar to what you can see there, that's probably the most that you'll see on this weapon. Another thing that I like is they sort of colored the scope there, which looks really cool. It's green with a red dot on it, green on the other side. Cool. I doubt that I'll use it. This has a deeper hole actually than the one in the front, which there we go. You see that? It's a lot deeper than what we see up here, so that's unfortunate, but other than that, it's a cool weapon. Glad to have it. And we always get this with our clone troopers. We've got this this blaster rifle here. I'm just gonna imagine that this outline here on the front is definitely accurate because it's on all of them now. So there aren't any movable parts on this. We've seen this with Cody. I'm pretty sure we're going to see this with Rex. Now you see it with the 501st. Nothing too different about this one. And another one, again, it's pretty standard at this point. You got this like sort of malleable feature there on the front. I want to say that that's probably for the crosshair. But again, I pointed this out before. I think that it's meant to sort of help anchor the troopers who are on the ground, but other than that, again, this is pretty typical. We've seen this countless times before, so nothing new. Nothing new. Next up, we have the helmet. So we have the Phase 1, and we also have the Ahsoka painted variant here. I'm not, again, well versed in a lot of the terminology, but this is definitely my favorite one. Now, as far as the Phase 1, I've heard a lot of complaints about the red light missing there on the back of this one. Of course, if you want, you're going to have to paint that red, but be careful with with changing that because you might be affecting the value of it if you try to go to the secondary market, of course, to sell it. Now, outside of that, we have the standard, weathering and everything like that, which looks really, really good. I like the fact that it matches the armor there in terms of like the paint, and it looks very, very worn out. The back region there, very dirty. It looks as if it probably dropped or something. Phenomenal work. That's the inside for anybody interested. There you go. And then again, the one that I'm going to be putting on my figure is definitely this one. So with this one, I also bought an extra from Toy Anxiety because when I get my Ahsoka in, I would like for her to be holding one. And since I'm going to be putting this one on all of my figures, I figured why not. So again, we have that really cool worn looking paint there on the helmet, which looks really cool. We've got some scuffs there on the back, on the sides, some dirt and grime in there in the midsection there. Looks really, really cool. Again, the inside, for those of you who are curious, I love this helmet. So we have a couple hands. Again, you could probably use this one. If I go ahead and show you the other ones here, you could probably use this one if you want to make it appear as if your trooper is throwing a bomb. But I like to sort of make it appear as if they're gesturing somebody this way. Sort of like, go that way, you know what I mean? But it's totally up to you. I like how bendy the hands are. Feels very nice, realistic. We've got that weathering there on the back side as well. We have 2 trigger fingers here. Pretty standard stuff. And we have two gesturing hands, so we have a directional finger here, more like a go this way, similar to the other one. Then we also have a thumbs up finger there. And last but not least, we also have a pointing finger. I like the look of this one, but it's I'm probably not going to use it, especially since they're going to be standing behind Commander Cody and Rex whenever Hot Toys decide to release Rex. But again, like I pointed out, I really wish that Hot Toys would have gave us a hand where we could hold the Gatling gun. So the trigger finger, you know, I think is fine, but it's not really right if the trigger is underneath. So let's check this out again. So you have the trigger finger here, right? It should be sort of curving around that, right? And then you have this finger or this handle here where you should have some hands like this. Not only that, we don't have fists, and that's another thing. I mean, I guess they've already outdone themselves with giving us a lot of these accessories when they didn't have to, but I would like to see fists as our standard hands. We need fists, and we also need, if you're going to give us these kind of weapons here, we need hands that make sense, and none of these hands make sense for this weapon. Last but not least, we also have the thermal detonators. So we have a hole detonator here, and then we also have one that you're sort of sticking to like a wall of sorts if you want to. So if you want to put some tack on the back side of that and, you know, place it up against your DTOF or whatever, you could do that. That's what this is. That's what this is for. Alrighty, so here we have the 501st Battalion Trooper here and the standard helmet that it came packaged in. I went ahead and I framed the shot with Cody and the other 501st that I had come in. But first things first, let's go ahead and talk about this particular helmet. Now, the helmet is very similar to the others in terms of what we see as far as scuffs and discoloration, which, again, I'm a big fan of. So as we go ahead and turn the turntable on here, you can see the scuffs, the chips in the paint. Looks really, really cool, right? You can definitely tell that it's been through some type of hail, if not all forms of it. We've got the visor there reflecting the light, which is nice. I love the fact that it's also, it appears cel shaded, sort of low poly, if you will. Looks really good. I can't complain about that one. We also saw the other ones in the accessories, but I'm almost tempted to keep this one on just because of how cool it looks with the rest of the armor. It's very cohesive, but it's something about the Ahsoka variant. The painting on that was just really, really nice. But regardless, it's pretty much, it resembles the rest of the masks, or the rest of the helmets rather, sorry, in terms of the discoloration and the mud and grime. And here we have the overview of the entire figure. So let's go ahead and start at the bottom. Now, me personally, I find that the ankles here, the ankle joints, to be a bit loose. It's definitely better on this one than the second version, but I still feel they're a bit too loose in my opinion. So we have some ratchets going on in the knees there, and we also have some ratchets going on in the hip. If I remember, there are ratchets in the knees now, I can't recall, but I definitely know you have a ratchet going forward, backward, and left and right, which in my opinion, I actually don't like that. It's more of a hindrance than anything because I feel like I'm forced into the way that I have to pose my figure. I would have been totally fine with ratchets going maybe left and right, I guess, but front to back and left to right it's very difficult. So going up on the figure, there we go. I like the elbows and things like that. We have double jointed elbows there. We have the ab crunch going on in the middle, in the midsection, what we saw earlier in the video. Let's go ahead and turn the rotating table on here. We have a really nice range of motion going on up there in the shoulder. And last but not least, which I'm gonna have to fix, is that little neck portion there. You have a lot of range going on in that neck area. So if you want the clone trooper looking down pretty far, I don't know why you'd have them doing that, but the fact that we have that extra sort of range going on is really, really nice in my opinion. But overall, I'd say my only complaint would have to be the ratchets there in the hip, going front to back and left to right. The rest of it, I think, is pretty good. And then, like I pointed out again, the ankles there, I wish those maybe had ratchets in them, but we can only get as much as we can get, right? I'm not too mad at that, so. But the hip would definitely be a bit better. I don't know. I'd like to know your thoughts. Are you okay with the hips being ratcheted that way? Is it better for you? I know it's great long term for the figure, but for me, it's a bit of a hindrance in terms of posability. So all in all, I am in love with these figures. I think the overall aesthetic and the appeal, I get it. I love the Clone Wars. Again, those are the buttons that I ended up missing out on there. Unfortunate for me. I get the appeal. I love the Clone Wars. I loved all of the seasons apart from the episodes where we had to follow the droids. I just wish there weren't that many of them, but I mean, they were still good regardless. However, back to the troopers here. So I really want 3 of these, and I feel like, let's zoom out just a touch. There we go. I honestly feel like having 2 is great, but I'm going to have Commander Cody. I'm going to have Captain Rex. Now, the only issue is it almost seemed like it's like you have 1 trooper per, and I wanted to feel like, more than that. However, 1 DTOF shelf can only hold so many at the same time, So, I don't know, maybe getting 1 for now so that I don't miss out on it in the event that I do get a bigger space or a bigger shelf, because I really, really, really want that 3rd. So, apart from that though, would I recommend this figure? Hell yeah. If you're a big fan of the Clone Wars, you do not want to pass up on this figure. Even if you just get 1. Like, you can just put 1 with Ahsoka, and if you're going to get Rex, it will look great. So you have Rex, you have this guy, and you also have Ahsoka. Like, that's great. If you're trying to army build, I mean, I believe Sideshow limit you to 6, believe it or not. So if you're trying to army build, that's your limitation, unless you create a second account, maybe give yourself a couple referrals or something like that, but you're only limited to 6 per account. Now, again, going back to the issues with the posability in the hips, I don't like the hindrance personally. The ratchets are great. Don't get me wrong. I feel like the ratchets are important for figures like this, and it gives your figure longevity, right? Like, that's what's important. You don't want to go back and your figure's all loose, and we don't want that, right? So I do understand it. However, I just feel very, very limited in terms of posability, and that's my only issue. The second issue, again, I pointed out with the metallic buttons there on the bag, I do wish that they would have gave us a couple more. I totally didn't see those dropping off until I looked up, and I was putting the thermal detonators in the backpack there on the ones that are missing, and I wondered what Like I thought originally that they didn't add them, but in the recording, because I pre-recorded the one previous to this one, and they were on there. I just didn't see it, and they're obviously on this one. So I wish they would have gave replacement pieces for that. I might even have to send in like a request or something to Sideshow that they can give me that one. So I don't know, maybe some extra buttons, I suppose. I would be fine with that. Regardless, awesome figure. Really glad to have these in my collection. I might grab one more. I cannot wait for Rex to come out. My detail shelf is going to look freaking incredible. With that said, I hope you all grabbed one. Let me know if you got one in the comment section. How many did you get? Like, I know a lot of people in the community are army builders, so did you get more than one? Did you just get, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3? Are you going to get some for Ahsoka? Are you even going to get Ahsoka? Are you going to get Rex? You don't want to pass up on Rex. You don't want to do that to yourself. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit us up over on social media. It is 7 in the morning for me. I've been knocking out videos. Chances are you will be seeing Kylo and Finn before this video. This video is actually being pre-recorded the week prior, and I've just been banging out content for you all. So thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit us up over on our socials, Instagram at Boston Collectors and TikTok at Boston Collectors. If you're interested in Twitter, at MA Collectors, and we're also going to be putting together a Discord. So if you all are interested in Discord, if you have a Discord, let me know which is your preferred channel. That is, if you want to get in contact, with your favorite creators. Do you prefer Facebook over Discord? I'm kind of surprised that a lot of creators aren't going the Discord route versus Facebook. So my fiance and I, we're situating all of that for you all. Let us know what you prefer, and we'll catch you all on the flippity flop.